Hey Internet, Mike Byrne aka Magic Man here from MMOBomb.com, bringing you another MMO Thoughts, and today, I think you should be concerned if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings MMO on its way from Amazon Game Studio, and I want to talk a little bit about why. For those of you that don't know, just to briefly recap, back in September 2018, Athlon Games, a subsidiary of Leyou Technologies, the company that owns Digital Extremes, that makes Warframe, a free-to-play space ninja game, announced that they were partnering with Middle-earth Enterprises to produce and create a Lord of the Rings MMO, and that it was going to be free-to-play. And all of this was good news. Now, to put a little caveat on it, they did say that as far as the story, characters, and world, this wouldn't be from the Lord of the Rings trilogy of books or movies, but instead be taking place many years before that. And while as a Tolkien fan, that's tremendous to me. It's such a really established world that they can work with there. I did find it kind of odd that they would be capitalizing on the Lord of the Rings franchise with the Lord of the Rings MMO title and then not having the content be in the Lord of the Rings era. You already got us Tolkien fans, no problem there, but I felt like maybe that's a little bit of a miss, maybe, just a little bit of a miss, because you're missing out on potential Lord of the Rings fans of just the trilogy coming in and not really seeing the characters that they're familiar with or the areas of the world of Middle-earth that they're familiar with, but I was totally on board with this. Now, they did mention at that time that they were using a Western developer to partner with to make this MMO, and it was later revealed that it was Amazon Games Studio that was partnering with them. So Amazon was going to be doing a lot of the development, Leyou/Athlon was going to be assisting with that development and being a partner to try and get the game pushed in China, since this was going to be a global release for both PC and consoles, free to play. And while all that is fine, now looking at that, now in 2020, I have a few concerns. I'm a little worried about it, and I think that maybe you should be too, and you can let me know in the comments if you agree and why or why not. Now, there's two parts I want to take a look at here, and I think we'll deal with the smaller one first, and that is the fact that it is through Leyou Technologies. Leyou Technologies right now is in an exclusive negotiation to be bought out by Tencent. And while this type of buyout doesn't generally change contracts that are already established, most of the time it's a buy-as-is situation, having Tencent and Amazon, two monster companies, both in the picture, could lead to the contract maybe being negotiated or changed in some way. So it does concern me a little bit. Who knows though, on that front, we don't even know if Tencent's going to be able to acquire Leyou. They've just maintained the exclusive negotiation rights for now, and you can check that story out as it develops right on MMOBomb.com. I think the bigger concern here is the elephant in the room, and that is Amazon Game Studio. Now, this is a studio that has nothing but money behind it. Totally fine there. They've been sucking up talent from across the board, whether they've worked on Destiny, World of Warcraft, other AAA titles, other MMOs. They've been sucking up talent left and right. But to date, it's not a great record of success, and let's take a look at why. So first off, we had Breakaway. This was Amazon Game Studio trying to get into the hero team-based esports type game, with a game of two teams trying to take a ball and basically throw it through a hoop on the other side, and you could win by scoring points, or you could win by decimating all of the opponents on the other team. There was a slight building mechanic in there as well, and I did take part in one of the early tests for this game, and although the concept did strike with me and kind of go, that could be fun, it wasn't quite ready for prime time in that early stage of testing, and it really didn't shake out very well, because as we all know, Breakaway was unceremoniously just canceled. It never went anywhere beyond very early testing phases. From Amazon's perspective, this was it never turned into the game we wanted it to standpoint, at least publicly. Fast forward Breakaway was one of the 3 major titles that Amazon Game Studio announced when they were created. It was Breakaway, Crucible, and New World. Breakaway was going to be the esport, Crucible was going to be the hero-based shooter, and New World was going to be the MMO RPG. When we look at Crucible, we've just recently seen, and you can follow this on MMO Bomb, all of the, well, let's just say cluster that game has turned into, releasing with 3 modes, none of which were particularly compelling, Heart of the Hives being the most playable and at least somewhat fun. The heroes were a little uninspired here and there as far as their abilities. Map traversal can sometimes become a problem as far as distances during respawn, and after a very, well, not touted launch, the game just basically fell into release. The game has since now been retracted and put back into closed beta, and you have to sign up to get in, while 2 out of the 3 game modes are set to be released, one already gone and the other one coming out over time, and the team focusing on Heart of the Hives to make that a more entertaining experience by itself. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. As if that wasn't bad enough, though, New World, the big flagship MMORPG that everybody's been pretty excited for, or at least interested in. This is going to be Amazon's first foray into a full-blown MMORPG of some type. And this game has gone through massive iterations over the last years, from being what people perceive to be more of a survival-based game, to one focused on PvP, to one having open-world looting of players, to having that scaled back into more organized PvP, and just massive changes. And this is where the story gets very, very, very weird. So originally, in April of 2020, it was announced that New World was going to launch in May, on May 26th, 2020, and although that had been teased in December of 2019 as just being May, this was the first time we had a date on it. Pre-orders were available. Closed beta was later in April. You could get access through different Founders Packs purchases. But basically, this was, hey, we've got a game launching in effectively 2 months. This is release that we are talking about. Fast forward just a month, and COVID-19/coronavirus has now gotten a little more out of control in the United States than it was previously in March and April, and we see the predictable announcement that nobody really batted an eye at, that New World was going to be delayed into August of 2020. Okay, most of us didn't bat an eye at that, seeing as what was going on with the global economy, and in particular the United States. Yeah, this delay was very likely and wasn't a surprise to anybody. But what is surprising is what later happened. Just recently, just this month in July, New World was delayed again. And the surprising part of this delay, at least for me, was that it is a full year from now. Now, again, I'm not here saying that delays are necessarily a bad thing. In fact, often they aren't. Delays can be a very good thing for a title. But this game was set to release in May of this year. It got backed up to release in August, and now it is being delayed into May of 2020. Almost, it's about a 9 or 10 month-ish delay. Almost a full year of a delay for a game that had a release date. And a lot of this is being attributed, at least on Reddit and other forums where people that have played the game, that may still be under NDA, they may be speaking when they're not allowed to be, but have come out and said there's lack of focus, there's challenges in this aspect of the game, and this aspect of the game, and this isn't quite polished, and this isn't quite fun, and this isn't... That is a lot of concern to be thrown on what is arguably the last big chance for Amazon Game Studio to make an initial impression. That's not good. That is not a good look. We've had Breakaway, which didn't find the mark. We had Crucible, which didn't find the mark and got yanked back into closed beta. And now we have New World that may not have found the mark and is being pulled back for effectively a year after already having an actual release date given. So now knowing that Amazon and Leu are working together on the Lord of the Rings MMO, something I am very much looking forward to, will be free to play, will be released on PC and consoles, is going to take place in a different era so they can tell their own stories in conjunction with some of the Tolkien lore that does exist for these eras. By the way, no relation to Amazon's TV series. We're not doing a Defiance TV game thing here. This is literally two separate projects. But do you have a lot of faith in it? I feel like this studio is really struggling to find its footing, really struggling to find what they want to do. And I don't know if it's rank and file, I don't know if it's leadership problems that stem into these lack of directions for each of their titles, but that really has me concerned and a little bit worried that the Lord of the Rings MMO might not turn out to be exactly what we're looking for. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Am I wrong to be worried? Am I right to be worried? Are you worried for totally other reasons? Are you not worried because you know something I didn't list here? Whichever way it goes, let me know in the comments, and until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you on the servers.